Okay, hello everyone. My name is Donna. I work at Spordle. So I'm going to be going over how to create a My Account tonight and give you a tour of Spordle ID. Please stop me at any time if you have any questions, or like you can either just raise your hand or just come off mute and ask your questions. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with how to create a My Account. This is going to be for anyone that is a user or an administrator on Spordle ID, as well as all your families. So all your parents will have to do the exact same thing. It is the same login. It's just whether or not you have rights to do go into the back end to Spordle ID, or if you're just having a My Account for the parents to register. Okay. So when you're creating the My Account, the system will always search for your email address. So it will go, I used that email before. Let's try another one. So it will always do a search for that email address to see if there's an account existing. Once it does that, you can click the sign up. It will ask you for some basic information. And you do have to create a password. So the password has to be at least 8 characters long, contain a number and a symbol. Oops. Let's try this again. Helps if I learn how to spell. Okay, so you can select your language and you have to enter a phone number as well as an address. So once you do that, it will send you a verification code to your account. So I will just grab the email, the account. And you can verify your code. Let's try that one more time. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, so now we're in. So you do have to agree to the terms and conditions. And now you have a My Account. So this is actually a brand new My Account. We just launched it today. So you are one of the first people that are going to be seeing the brand new My Account. When you go in here, you will go first add yourself to the account. Under the dashboard, when you do have a user rights into the Spordle ID, boxes will show up under here. So I will click in there just to show you. Sorry, I have to sign out. So if you do not have an address, it will always ask you for an address, so you have it on file. So you can see that I have user rights on Spordle ID. So I am able to go under there. I can click manage and it will take me to Spordle ID. Okay. For the other, for parents' use, they will be able to create or their family members. So I'm going to create a family member.
Donna, just a quick question. If you already have an account set up through hockey, is it going to be the same account?
When it comes to March, hockey will be in the same on my account. They're still on the old my account for now, but once they move over in March, because their season is still going on, then it will all be in the same.
Thanks.
So once I've created a person in my account, I'm going to link them to a sport. So you're going to be able to see that come March, you're going to be able to link hockey members as well. But I'm going to link Jane Tester to the account. So I'm going to be able to view her profile. So I'm going to have to see the basic information. I'm going to be able to add contacts for that user. So those contacts will get synced into Spordle ID, will show up on all your reports and stuff. This is encrypted. So if I link Jane Tester, if you link Jane Tester to your account, you're not going to see the contacts that I've added for that user. Okay. So you will be able to see any suspensions for that player. You're also going to be able to upload documents. So this is going to be a parent self-serve option for your families. So if you need to have birth certificate on file or proof of residency, they're going to be able to upload those documents at that time. So they're going to be able to pick a document type that you're going to be able to set up, and it's going to be all encrypted. Again, if you link Jane Tester to your account, you're not going to see the documents that I've uploaded for her. Okay. You're going to be able to see a history of their registrations. You're going to be able to see any courses that they've taken. So if they are a referee or if they're a coach, you're going to be able to see all of their qualifications there. You're also going to be able to sign waivers or see a history of any of the waivers, as well as any of the background checks. Okay. You're also going to notice that it's being flagged that it's missing documents. So I might have missing documents for my birth certificate or proof of residency, etc. So over on the left-hand side, we can also see it here. So we can click on it and upload it from there. But you're also going to have a to-do list over here. So anything on any profiles that you have that's linked to your account, if there's missing information or things that required to confirm your profile, you're going to have a to-do list, and you're going to be able to click on there, and you're going to see what is missing from the profiles. So if you have a payment, if you have installments, it's also going to list there that maybe you have a payment that is coming due, or if you've done a manual registration and you've sent it to them, or if you have any wait lists, they're going to be able to manage it from there. Okay. You're also going to have a calendar view. So again, if you have any clinics and you have online courses, you're going to be able to see when your clinics are and be able to click a link to any online courses, as well as you're going to be able to see any upcoming payments, etc. You're also going to be able to see a list of your payments. So you're going to be able to see if there's anything pending. From here, you're also going to be, if you have any credit cards on file. So I believe you guys are using PaySafe. which allows you to keep an encrypted credit card on file that you can use for future payments, or you can change it from here when you can make all your payments. The purchases is going to have a list of any invoices that you have. So parents are going to be able to see all of the history of any of the purchases they've made, and they're going to be able to download PDF versions of that so they can have receipts. Do you have any questions about the My Account before we go into Spordle ID? No? Okay. So when you go into Spordle ID, you first are going to be coming to a dashboard. Now this dashboard is customizable, so you can move things around. We are going to be creating other widgets that are coming, so you're going to be able to add more of that. By default, you're going to be able to see all of your sport requests. You're going to be able to click in there, see a history of any tickets that you have created, and see all the answers to them. You're also going to be able to open a new sport request. So when you do open a ticket, make sure you're putting as much information as possible. So like if you're talking about a certain member, if you can give the full name and their profile number, that would help us in our troubleshooting the ticket for you. So once you submit that, you can add any documents. So if you have any screenshots, you can add that. And then you're going to be able to see a list of any of your old history. You're also going to have a list of your last viewed pages. So it's just a quick link to quickly go back to anything. And you're also going to have a history of your notifications. So from the top right-hand side, you are going to be able to click in to go back into your My Account. So it's the same, again, it's the same view of any of your parents will have. You're going to have a link to the communications tool. And again, you're going to have another link to your sport requests. You are able to change your language if you want to, from French to English. The next one is our help. So it will be linked to all the documentation. So as you change your pages, the documentation will change as well. So when you click into the documentation, it will take you to that page. You can read about it, but from the left-hand side, you can always scroll down to all the other pages available. Okay. We also have in the help a link to our training. So we do have ongoing training sessions that you're welcome to join. Or if hockey, or sorry, Alberta baseball has set up anything, you can click in here and you can register for that. Okay. The next one over is our notifications. So again, it will be the same ones as the ones from the homepage, from the dashboard, but also in here is our settings. So if you click on the gear box, this will take you to your notifications. We do have a list of everything that is available for your role. You can go in here and you're going to be able to turn on or off any notifications. Now, if you have multiple roles in Spordle ID, you will have to set up the notifications, the toggling on or off for each role. Okay. The next one over is just a link to our communication. You can go straight to your inbox, and we will go over the communication a bit more after. And lastly, on the left hand or the right hand side is our news. So from time to time, we will be posting some information. So when you log into Spordle ID, you may have a pop-up window. So we might tell you again, like this one says, that there's going to be maintenance that day, or if there's any updates, or I might send out some information on some training as well. Now you can also set add news items for your regions. So if you want, when they log in, you can actually have information pop up for them as well. To do that, you would click into manage. Now this is permission-based, whether or not who has rights to add notifications or news items. Okay, oops. You can select which banner you want. You can select which region you want this to be posted in. You can give it a title. Oops. And then on login, I would see that pop up. Now you can always go back and see a history of any news items that have been posted. So once you click out of there, they're not gone. You can always go back. Okay. Is there any questions before I go to the left-hand side? Okay, so from the left-hand side, we do have the change organization. Now, again, this is role-based. So if you only have permissions to say zone 8, you're not going to be able to change it. So anyone that has permissions to see anything underneath them, you're going to be able to change the location. You can either type it in. So I can just type in and select which zone I want to go to or which club, or I can view the tree. Okay. You will have a link to your communications. You're going to be able to see a history of all the pages that you've gone to. You can clear that. And you can add pages to your favorites. So if you find that you're always going to say the tree, I might want to put it into my favorites. Just by doing that by the breadcrumb, there's a little star there, just highlight it and it adds it to the favorites. So we have categorized the menu at the top. So under manage, you're going to find all the information for your organization, your members, teams, clinics, and online store. Tasks will be for any of your wait lists or things that you might have to double check or have a task to do. Your catalog is where you're going to be setting up all of your information for your online store or any manual registrations. So you're going to be setting up whether or not you want to have installments, discounts. You're going to set up all your terms, conditions, and your fees. Next, we have a list of all of reports and then all of our settings. So all the information that you need to set up before you want to open certain information. Okay. Is there any questions about that? Okay, so we're going to go into organization. So under organization, you're first going to find your general tab. It is a good idea to at least go in here at least once a year to double check that all of this information is correct. If it needs to be updated, you can click edit and make any changes. Now, when you do create your online store, information from here does get posted on the public view. So when I do create my store, when I open it to the families, there's going to be contact information and it does get pulled from here. The next section is we have regional settings. So this will be set up for you. But if needed, you can always go in here and double check, or again, it's permission based who can update information in here. We do have information for our registration settings. Now, this is an optional thing, but it does help us support you. So if you can ask your registrars to go in here and let us know their start dates, their end dates for their registration, and any other information that you can add to us. So when we're troubleshooting information, we do look here for some guidance. And lastly, under the general settings is our merchant account. So available to you if you want to use credit card for any online payments is PaySafe. So each of your clubs can set up an account with them. They just ask them to either call or you can email this address, and then it just takes a couple of days to get activated. Okay. Is there any questions about that before we go on to the next ones? Okay. So our next tab over is our users. So this is where you would give permissions to people for Spordle ID. Okay. To add a member, you would go in here, you would select a role, and you would enter their email address. Now you can add it so that it expires after a certain time, and then they would just verify the role, the email address. So if they've already have a My Account, it will automatically add it to that dashboard in the My Account, so they're able to have the manage box. If they don't have a My Account, they will be sent an email asking them to create it, and they'll have 7 days to have it to create the account. Okay. You can go in here and give additional roles. So there will be a list of different roles that you're going to be able to set up, and each of them have different permissions. But you can go in here and add additional roles. So if you have them as a registrar, but they might need to be able to, I don't know, create a clinic, you can give them a clinic role as well. Okay. The postal codes, you can set it up that your online registration only accepts members from a certain location. So if I go in here and I add a postal code, so I would search by province, city. I can either put a partial postal code in or just click search. And then I would either be able to select all, or I can just select the postal codes that I'm allowing to register in my area. Now, if I do select that and add that postal code, anyone outside of that postal code is not able to register. So they would have to contact you and you would have to manually do that. Okay. Accounting, this is an optional thing. You can go in here and click add. You can add your accountant and your account number and just information. This is not used by anyone in Spordle ID. It's just for information purposes if you want to keep that information here. And next is our staff tab. So you will have to have a profile in the system in order to create an account. Let's see. I'm just going to go to where I have my test one set up. So when you find the member, you can add it. You can add the information for their phone number. You would give them a role in the system. You can have it as an elected role or not. If you do have it as elected, you can put an expiry on that. And you can add roles to that person as well. So you do have the option of adding it to, so it's visible on the website, adding their email and phone number as well, making it visible. So you will have a certain mandatory roles that do have to be added to your system. So you can click here and you're going to be able to see which roles still need to be added. Okay. Is there any questions about anything in the organization tab? Okay, so we're going to jump over to settings now. So under organization, this is where you're going to be able to add documents to be asked for during registration. So I would click a document type, click add, and maybe I want to add a birth certificate. I can add a description if I want and click add. And I apologize, I am in a demo site right now and it doesn't look like they're added the document settings to this section, but this is where you would just go in and apply it to a registration. Or you can also set it up as document types if you're using any travel permits or any clinic documents. Okay. You can also set up information for background checks. So maybe I want to add that a document type for a coach. They're going to be able to have their document type last for 3 years. You can select whether it's a fixed period or a fixed date. So if I select fixed date, this means that it's going to be good until, like I know for trainer certificates, a lot of times they always expire on August 31st. So you can have it as the background check. It has to be, it always is good until say August 31st, and then they have to start over. A fixed period would be for a year or 2 years. So it's, if I got it April 1st, it's good for 3 years till April 1st. Okay. Is there any questions about that? You can select which phone numbers, or I think the other option is we have contact list. So when you're asking for information on your profile, so when a member is putting their contact information in, you have a list of ones that you're allowed or they're allowed to select from. So maybe I don't want to have brother's name and make it inactive. Okay, oops. And you can also set which information, when we just looked over the manage organization and we were adding staff members, you can set which ones are mandatory staff for your association. Okay. Is there any questions about that? So when we did look at the users and the staff tab, anyone that is set up in that two categories, when I go into communications and I compose a message, when I'm selecting organization, anyone listed under those two tabs that we just looked at, that's where that information is being pulled from. So if I'm setting it up for anyone in zone 8, it's going to pull anyone that is listed under users or staff. Now, anytime I'm making a communication, I can always download and make a contact list, or I can remove anyone from the list that I don't need to select. I do always have to accept the terms and conditions. So we want to make sure that any communications through Spordle ID is for baseball purposes only. It's not for promotions or any third-party information. Anytime you do send an email through this communication tool, it comes from a no reply email address. So that email address has been whitelisted. So it would have been something like, this is a zone 8. So it'd be like no reply from zone 8, or maybe it's based, I'm not sure exactly what the email address is going to be from, but any emails that do get replied to do not come into the system. So because I've logged in under this email address, anyone replying to that email address will show up my personal email. The only time that you're going to see ones that come into the system are ones that were sent through the system to another user in the system. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. The other way you can use the communication tool, you can actually search for members. So you can use any of the filters to narrow your search. You can use the actions, and you're going to be able to send a communication. That's cool. Okay. You're also able to do it once you have teams set up. Through each of the teams modules, you're able to send communication to the full team, or select just bench staff, just affiliate players, or just active players. Okay. The last thing about the communication tool, let me go back. So I said how we can compose a message and select organization, and that comes from the staff or the user tab. You can also select to email members. So I can, if I know the person's profile ID number, I can just enter it and it will find them. Or I can click advanced search and I can look for members. So any questions about that? So that's kind of our tour of Spordle ID. I can go back over any of my account if you want me to go back over that at all, or if you have any questions about just finding members. I know our next one, we're kind of going to be diving more into the member search and setting up catalogs. I can just briefly show you how a member is. So again, you will have different filter types at the top. So you will be able to search by different member types. A member type does get reset every single year. So if you have a player that played with you last year, but they haven't registered, or they haven't taken a clinic, or they haven't been rostered to a team, they're not going to have a member type in this season. So again, it does get reset every year. One of the reasons we've done that is so that you can actually search for members that you might want to communicate with to find out if they're going to be joining you this year as well. We've also have different flags for missing information on profiles, so you can just pull those informations out. You can search by first name, last name, by email, or different statuses on a member. So we're going to be talking more about the statuses the next, I believe it's next Monday. But is there any questions just on the basic navigation that we have? No questions? Okay. Well, I think that covers what we were going to go over tonight. Again, next Monday, we're going to be talking about more about the navigation for the member search. We're going to set up a store from scratch. So you're going to be able to see what an online store looks like after you've set up all your catalog. And then I believe next Wednesday, we're going to be talking about rostering a team and setting up all your teams. Okay. Any last minute questions before we go? Okay, well, thank you. Have a good night, everyone.